Hi everybody, we're back finishing our soup. Sorry it took so long. We had a little issue last night. We lost power about 6:45 while the stock was cooking, and we never got it back until 11 o'clock this morning. So we let it cook a little bit longer. So ultimately it probably cooked about 4, 5, maybe 8 hours. And this is ultimately what it looks like after I took everything out using my large scoop and drain. I love my scoop and drain for things like this, for getting hamburger out of pans that you maybe want to drain your hamburger and then you can just discard the grease. It's also great if you're canning like tomatoes. You can put the tomatoes in and put it in. So for instance, I've got the chicken pulled, and this is all the vegetables and all the stuff I'm going to discard. I just put it in one of the older models of the colander, which we have a stainless steel colander now. I just put that in there to drain. Pick the chicken, and if you use the scoop to put everything back in, you're not going to splatter like I did earlier. So I learned my lesson. So please use the scoop and drain. It's good to do that. Okay? So see how yellow and brownish color that turned. And that's mainly because of the way we browned the chicken skin. Okay, so now what Catherine likes to do is she likes a little bit of corn in it. So I'm just going to take some frozen corn and I'm just going to add it.
That's too much.
Oops, sorry. It's almost gone, Cat. All right. And then what we're going to do is take carrots and celery, and we're going to use Catherine's favorite product, which is called the Simple Slicer. The Simple Slicer is sort of like a mandolin, but it only does one regular slice. Here it has a lock function on the handle so that this blade is reset so you don't cut yourself. It has a 1, which is very thin, a 2, which is medium, and a 3 that is thick. So I'm going to show you a little bit of number 3. Now, always use the blade, okay? The blade guard, but when you're doing stuff like this, it kind of is hard. This is how thick a 3 would be. That's a 2. And a 1 is almost paper thin. So a 1 would be good for chips. 2 would be good for maybe slices of onions for a sandwich. And then 3 is good for your vegetables. So we're just going to cut some celery and some onions using the
Carrots.
Oh, sorry, carrots. Thanks, Catherine. And that we're going to cut up all these and we're going to just add them back to the soup. You could also use your knife, your forged cutlery knives, and cut them, but they're not going to be the same dimension, so they'll cook at a different rate. So what we also do is we take a little bit of chicken base. You can get this in your grocery store. Gives it a little bit of boost of chicken flavor, but it also adds a little bit of salt. So that's just to taste. So once you get everything cooked up, the carrots and the celery are going to probably take about an hour to cook. Still using the slow cooker base. We'll turn it back to low, get those veggies cooked, and then we will cook our pasta in our executive cookware, because Catherine likes to add that to every bowl she makes rather than putting it into the soup so that it takes up that broth. You can do it either way. You could throw that in now and have it all cooked together, or you can do it separate like we'll do. So after this is all done, I'll let Catherine do a testimony of how great it is, so you can see. But it makes your life really super easy if you do it in our Rock, Crock, and Slow Cooker stand. So if you have any questions when you're making soup and I can be of help, please let me know. Thank you for joining us on part 2 of making soup with Pampered Chef products. Have a great night.